World events have been dominated by pandemics and wars over recent years, bringing much fear, despair and suffering. There appears to be little joy in the world. Yet we are designed for joy, to experience it and to long for it. But the culture being fostered in and across our world is robbing us of opportunities to be joyful. But we have a choice, don't we? To live in pursuit of joy or to live from a state of fear and what that leaves us with. Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel that helps you to be more and do less. Over recent years I've been on this journey to try and foster a greater sense of joy within my life. And I came across this book, The Surprising Power of Joy, which in one of its chapters explains about this idea that our brains can either be fueled by joy or by fear. So I kind of delved a little bit deeper on this subject and come up with a number of observations for us to look at today. So I'm simply going to go through these observations, and please stay on till the end as I will just outline a further bonus tip, if you like, that will hopefully challenge you as we move forward. So let's get into things. The first observation I want to make is that it really is an intentional choice to be more joyful. As I explained in the introduction, our brains will either choose joy or fear to fuel themselves. Now, with our prevailing culture probably more fearful, then if we don't intentionally choose joy, it will be fear which dominates our brains and fuels our brains. Now, like with any choice, we have to build the habits, the practices and the capacities in our hearts and in our minds in order to foster this culture of joy and to live in and choose that. I believe that we can build such a depth of joy and capacity for it that when the bad times or difficult times come, we can overcome them and still be joyful even though we experience maybe pain and suffering. My next observation is that in order to embrace joy, we need to relinquish control and be vulnerable. Now, research has shown that we tend to do more in terms of minimising pain than to gain pleasure. And what we try and do is trying to maintain what we have and avoid loss. And over time this translates into fear, and we just end up trying to control everything in our lives. However, just take a moment to think of moments of joy in your life and how they've occurred. They don't occur when things are locked down and you're totally in control. They occur in moments of vulnerability, where you haven't got control, where there's an element of freedom, where certain things are unknown or there's a risk to it. I often think back to times when I was playing football and I was in a cup final and I was taking a penalty, but the previous penalty I had missed, and I could have at that point not stepped up and taken it out of a moment of fear, thinking that I don't want the embarrassment of missing it. Now thankfully joy won through in that situation. I stepped up and I scored the goal, but it could have been oh so different if I'd thought of and looked through the lens of fear. My third observation is about enjoying the moment. Now, fear tends to appear when we are thinking about past regrets, or we're looking into the future and we're just overwhelmed in terms of what could be. But joy really happens in the moments where we stop thinking about what's going to happen and what's in the past, and we just focus on the here and now. Things tend to slow down when that happens. We see clearly and we see wonder present itself in front of us. One of my strengths is to be able to strategize and look ahead, helping companies and individuals to see what's next. But inadvertently that has created fear in my own life, because I am able to see the options and what could be. It's kind of paralysed me and made me quite fearful. So over the last couple of years I've actively tried to be more in the present and focus on moments. And now we can only do what we can do in a moment, but the focus really should be in trying to squeeze as much joy as we can out of the moments we experience. So on to my bonus observation and challenge for you today. And basically it is this: I believe we each have a responsibility to pass on joy. Now, I'm sure we've all been in a room with a group of people and where there's one person that infuses joy and well-being. They light up the room, they change the atmosphere. And sometimes we put this down to them being an extrovert, but actually it's probably down to them having chosen joy. I'm captivated by the idea of being able to generate an atmosphere around me that invokes joy in others. I'd love to be able to do that. And imagine if we all did that, how different the world would be. Or in the next video that I'm going to produce, one of the next ones, I'm going to really look into this subject and suggest ways that we can create this atmosphere of joy that we can pass on to others. So today, can I encourage you to consider whether you're living your life from a place of joy or a place of fear? If it is from fear and you feel stirred to make a change, use this tool, link coming up now, it's called the Learning Circle, to help you process and think through how you want to make those changes. If you're living your life from a place of joy, then can I challenge you to consider how you can share that joy with others? Again, this Learning Circle tool can help you. And I would love to know your thoughts and observations on this subject. Please put them in the comment section below and I'll come back to you. So that's it for today. If you found this video helpful, then please like it, subscribe to the channel and share it with others. Please check out these other videos as well coming up now that will help you be more and do less. And remember, be fruitful, and I'll see you in the next video.